Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a super yummy ooey gooey cinnamon roll recipe to share with you. So if you want to see how to make some keto cinnamon rolls, then keep on watching. So the base of the recipe is going to be the typical fathead dough. So you're going to put in 2 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. And you guys, this does not taste like cheese. So just so you know, right now, don't turn off the video. I swear you will love this. And then 3 ounces of cream cheese. You're going to put this in the microwave and melt it for a minute. Give it a stir, then do it for another minute. And then let's get on to the other ingredients. So in my sifter here, I have 3/4 of a cup of almond flour. I have found and read in many places that sifting your almond flour makes it much, much finer. And there's, usually these little clumps at the end. So that's what I am doing this for. So you want to do that until all your flour has been sifted. And then you're going to put in 1/4 cup of whatever kind of sweetener you'd like. I used the monk fruit sweetener from Keto. And then I also added in some pumpkin pie spice. I didn't measure it. And then I did 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. So that is going to be your dry ingredients. So this is what your cheese will look like when it comes out of the microwave after the first time. So you want to give it a good stir. So this is after 1 minute, and then go ahead and put it back in the microwave for another minute, and then you'll give it a good stir again, and then it'll look like this. So that will be your finished cheeses. So now you're going to stir that up, and then you're going to add your dry ingredients to that mixture. Oh, and I also just put a splash of vanilla also in there. So you want to add the vanilla, add in all your dry ingredients. I will have the original recipe, of course, linked down below. I'll have it all typed out for you because this did not come from a recipe. It's just something that I kind of came up with. And then you want to also put in 1 beaten egg in there and just give it a really good stir. Now, this is kind of hard to work with, so I usually just end up doing it with my hands to make sure everything gets nice and incorporated. So that's just how I do it. It's just a lot easier that way. So this is what it looks like when it's all done. So now I have a piece of parchment paper laying down, and I have the dough ball on top. So I'm going to spread it out a little bit with my hands, and then I'm going to grab another piece of parchment paper, put it on top, and then just take my rolling pin and roll it out. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you're going to want to do this probably in a square that's, I don't know, about 9 by 13 or something, a rectangle, actually, not a square. But for me, it's just, I don't have a lot of patience for doing that. So I just did it the best I could. I ended up pressing a lot of it with my hands, just to get it all, into a nice, pretty even rectangle. And there's my rectangle. It's not perfect, you guys, but it's, it still looks good and tastes good when it's all done. So in a little bowl here, we're going to make our little filling. So I have some butter that I wished was a little bit more softened than what it ended up being. So just so you know, you want really pretty softened butter. And then I also put in some pumpkin pie spice, and then I used some of the golden sweetener from Keto. So it's supposed to be like the brown sugar, and you want to just get that nice and incorporated. Again, it would be much easier if the butter had been a little bit more softened. So just kind of let your butter sit out for a little bit ahead of time. And then you're just going to take that mixture and you're going to press it on top of your dough. So it just takes a little bit to work with. Again, it would be a lot easier if the butter was a little bit more softened. But I end up working it and getting it spread all across the entire rectangle. And then you're just going to roll it up. And I started at the long end. I don't know if it really matters which end that you start with. I guess if you start at the shorter end, you'd have maybe a little bit thicker cinnamon rolls, but that wasn't an issue. And then I'm going to cut it into 12 equal-ish pieces. So I just cut down the middle, and then I cut each of the halves in half, and then each of the other halves in half, and I got 12 pieces. And then I'm going to transfer those rolls into a pie plate that I have sprayed with some cooking spray. So you just want to arrange them in there. I'm kind of pressing them down a little bit just to make sure that they sit. I don't have any idea at this point how much they may rise or spread out, because again, this was just a complete experiment. So I had no idea at this point what was going to happen with these. So here they are, just getting ready to go into the oven. They're going to go into a 400-degree oven and do it for about 14 minutes, then check on them, and then you'll see what they look like. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do our icing. So I have some cream cheese. So I have 3 ounces of cream cheese that's really soft, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, a quarter cup of the Swerve confectioner's sugar, and then a quarter teaspoon of vanilla, and then just have some almond milk or something in the wings in case you need to thin it out a little bit. I did not have to do it, but I thought that it may have to. Just depends on how thick your your frosting ends up being. But mine turned out as a really good consistency, so I didn't actually have to add any almond milk to it. So here are the cinnamon rolls, and they ended up taking 16 minutes. It's really going to depend on your oven, definitely. So you can see they did spread out quite a bit. So also let these cool completely. I mean, don't be tempted to do anything with them until they cool. So I let them sit there for probably about an hour before I touched them. And I made sure that the whole entire plate was completely cool, only because they'll fall apart. Because I tried kind of messing with them and they completely fell apart. So you can see here I'm spreading the icing all on top, and I am going to enjoy this with a cup of coffee, which was a perfect little treat. As you guys can see here, no, they're not perfect. They're not a perfect cinnamon roll, but they are tasty and they are good, and I will have my recipe linked down below. If you guys want to see more keto baking recipes, please give this video a thumbs up so I know you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below for maybe something that you may be looking for, and maybe I can see what I can do. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.